Hello there, and a very warm welcome to another edition of Channels Beam. I'm Victor Matthias. The Africa Cup of Nations, much anticipated, I must add, has come and gone with surprises, shocks, and of course, celebrations. Though the Super Eagles came home with the bronze medal, some Nigerians believe they could have done better, while others are grateful for the third place finish. And that will be our focus on the program today. But let's first take a look at the trending topics in the social cyberspace in the past week.
A Nigerian imam, Abubakar Abdullahi, has become
while others are grateful for the third place finish. And that will be our focus on the program today. But let's first take a look at the trending topics in the social cyberspace in the past week.
A Nigerian imam, Abubakar Abdullahi, has become the first ever recipient of the International Religious Freedom Award of the U.S. government. The Muslim cleric was honored for hiding 262 Christians in his mosque in June 2018 during a herdsman attack. Social media was flooded with tributes.
Well, there you go. Those were the trends in the past week. But one of the biggest trends, of course, was the one that I introduced as the topic that we're speaking about today on the program. And joining me to look at that is Ifreke Iyang. He is a sports analyst. Thank you as well for joining us on the program.
Thank you for having me.
We also have Damola Idowu. He is a sports analyst as well as a tourism expert. Thanks for joining us today on the program.
Thank you so much.
Very well. We have joining us via Skype Babatunde Koiki from Lagos, Nigeria here. He is a sports anchor with News Central Television. Thanks for joining us on the program today.
Thank you very much for having me, Victor.
Fantastic. Get this. How impressed were you with the Super Eagles at the just concluded AFCON?
I ran a poll on my Twitter shortly after the third place match to get a feel of what people felt. You know, like, would you have taken bronze before the competition started? And a lot of people were grateful for bronze. And it shows how much we didn't expect, from the Super Eagles going into the competition. I think they did pretty well. They almost got to the final, if not for that last minute Riyad Mahrez goal. So overall, I think it was a decent outing for General Doro and his boys in Egypt.
Did you feel the same way?
I don't feel the same way at all because I expected a lot more from the boys after a not too good performance at the World Cup. I was expecting they were going to build massively on that because we're building a very young team. We had people like Victor Moses leave the team for the younger guys to come in. So I was expecting the boys to gel better and give us a very fantastic and decent outing at the AFCON.
So where do you think we got it wrong?
Well, for me, I think it was the coach's tactics. It was the traditional 4-3-3 Nigerian formation. I think it's getting outdated, and it's high time we started trying out something more dynamic and something more interesting.
Well, let me bring Tunde Koiki into this conversation. Tunde, third place. This is the 8th time. I mean, do you think it is one time too many?
Yeah, Victor, considering the fact that, Nigerian football is regarded as one of the finest products on the African continent, also the Nigerian national team is regarded as one of the biggest national teams on the African continent, and also considering the fact that we've only won these African competitions 3 times, and we've been in the semi-finals more than anyone else. We've also played in the third place match more than anyone else. I think it's safe to say that we're falling short of what should be a considerable mark. When you consider the fact that Egypt are leading on the African continent with 7 titles, the next person with that comes close to them is Cameroon with 5 titles. you begin to wonder how well Nigeria's would have been more illustrious if we had just converted just half, of the eight bronze medals that we've won, added to what we currently have. That's seven titles equated with Egypt. So yeah, I think it's one too many, and Nigerians would really like to see the Super Eagles win on a more consistent basis on the African continent.
Yeah, so I mean, Damola is saying that, we need to maybe perhaps change our tactics, that the 4-3-3 is, the traditional 4-3-3 is becoming outdated. Do you share that view?
Well, it goes beyond tactics, Victor. You cannot have ingredients for filet mignon and expect to cook egusi soup. That's just the way it is. You need to have players who are capable of playing a multifaceted system, players who are adept at internalizing and exploiting what it is that coach basically provides for them. So Nigeria's development structures severely warped. And until we begin to have a proper football policy that provides players who are capable of it at the highest level of football, we will continue to struggle with getting to the finals of the continental competitions and winning it. I mean, when you consider the fact that Nigeria has been to the FIFA World Cup as many times as we have, we've only ever qualified for the second round twice. You now understand the tremendous amount of pressure that we have in terms of ensuring that football that we currently play and we have is, moves from where it is to where it should be. I mean, look at Nigeria Professional Football League, for instance. It has been on TV for the past 3 years, and this should be the very foundation of any country's football development. Yet it is completely stagnant, and not one of the players in the Nigeria Professional Football League made to the current national team that we have. So it is serious problem. It goes beyond tactics. It goes beyond formations. It goes to the very root of Nigerian football, the very heart of Nigerian football.
All right, I'll come back to you in a bit. I mean, so he's going deep down, saying, okay, it's even beyond, tactics, and all of that. And we also had an issue of, salaries not being paid during this. And do you think the players handled that situation pretty well?
I think they did what they had to do, because you can't be too sure that if you leave that matter pending for a long time, pretend that everything is all right, that you'll get those monies. And so I think it was before the second game, General came out alone in his press conference. He was supposed to come out with Ahmed Musa, and then we knew there was a problem. And it was like putting out our mess or washing our laundry in the public, And the next day, I think they got their alerts. So I do not think that if they allow that problem simmer and pretend that all is well, we'll get our money whenever it's ready. I mean, so they had to do what they had to do. So you can't blame them. I mean, going from antecedents of Nigerian football, you just had to get what you have to get now, and not wait for.
So they shouldn't have waited.
They shouldn't have waited. I think they did what they
Isn't
had to do.
that in a way unpatriotic?
No, I mean, these people have families and they have to feed them. And you promised them these monies, and the monies didn't come as at when due. So it was right for them to wonder why they hadn't gotten paid, And maybe they didn't get the assurance they needed, so they had to take the actions they did.
So one of the issues that came up also was, there was just this a little bit of, a banter sometime, on Twitter and all of that, when one of the players scored and the commentator emphasized on his age. I mean, so again, we're coming back to this issue of, catch them young, grooming them from a very young age and bringing them. Did you see that happening, at least with this current squad?
Well, I think we are beginning to groom a decent and young team. But then the issue of the age is still, of course, it causes a lot of debate every time we have these competitions, conversations. Look at our age grade competitions. Look at the number of people that get sent back when they do the MRI scan. So it's a bit of concern for football lovers, and I think the moment we begin to get it right from the age grade competitions, let's just look at them. Let's graduate these guys into the. Look at Messi. Messi started for. I think it started from the age grade competition for Argentina. They graduated from one age grade to the other.
I think they played at the World Cup himself. Tony Cruz, Mikel Obi. Which one of the World Cups were they all together in that
when
competition?
I think Mikel was the best player.
Is retiring from the Super Eagles while Messi is going strong. So.
Okay, Tony. What about Tony Cruz?
Toni Kroos is still going on. He's playing for Real Madrid at the top level. I mean,
So
3
is
years.
there a model that we should copy?
Yes, it's system and structured because at 4, 7, 8, these boys are in academies. They learn the basics of the game, so they are growing into it. By the time they get into competitions, under 14, under 15, under 17, they've been playing together. They are aware of tactics, of space, of a lot of things. So it's not that we just come and say want to gather a team, want to bring boys together to come and play, and then we take people from anywhere. But we know that they've been graduated. I wonder what has happened to them. I don't know if I should call the name. There used to be an academy that produced the likes of John Mikelobi, if it's still functional, so that you catch them young and then you, like he's saying, take them through the process of 8th grade competition and they
Yeah.
graduate through. Yeah.
So, I mean, quickly, one thing that I noticed also was the fact that the supporters club actually arrived Egypt perhaps, later than usual. What exactly was going on?
For me, I think we have to blame it on CAF and the host country. I remember South Africa, the era of the Vuvuzela. The stadium was filled to the brim, people shouting on the top of their voices, cheering their teams, and people going in and out of the stadium, cheering their teams, basically. But then I think that didn't happen in Egypt.
Why?
I don't know. Honestly, that is one question I expect CAF to ask Egypt. It was very sad to see the official supporters club of Nigeria arrive Cairo 5th July after the group stage matches. Yeah, I was also involved in the visa process for a few of sports journalists and even football fans who wanted to go to Cairo for the competition. But then the attitude of the Egyptian embassy in Abuja is very, very despicable. That's just the honest truth. You submit your application, they tell you go and come back. It doesn't work that way. I think going forward, CAF should put as a precondition, if you cannot open your borders,
don't host international competitions.
Don't host, because the competition is not meant for your country alone. It's meant for everybody.
Yeah.
And anybody who can afford to fly down to your country to buy a match ticket, to get a fan ID, should be able to come in. Russia gave us a fantastic template. It doesn't stop anybody from going to Russia. Oh, Russia, how did you do it? Oh, people overstaying the competition, all of those.
How did you fish them out?
How did you fish them out?
Let me bring back Tunde. Tunde, so talking about age grades and, of course, the whole catch them young policy, we have spread across this country, football academies, and more are coming. More are coming in Lagos, in Port Harcourt, quite a number of them. But so I mean, what's been happening in the past? I mean, is it that we haven't benefited from the past system?
Well, to be honest, at senior level football, age doesn't really come into play, because this is senior level football. There is no limit to how old you can be. I mean, Shinsuke Nakamura, who is 41 years old, is still playing high level football in Japan. And there's a certain Kazuyoshi Miura, who is 51 years old, he's still playing professional football. But coming back to the age grade system in Nigeria that we currently run, what we have are not football academies in the true sense of the word. What we have are vehicles used to identify players that many of so-called football academy owners can sell abroad for a profit. These are not truly developmental in the sense that there's a proper footballing syllabus. These are not truly developmental in the sense that there's an educational syllabus that marries the football syllabus together to create a well-rounded player who can also progress in other spheres apart from football. So what we have really a football academy system. It's more or less what we have, a glorified human trafficking system where many of these clubs, academies, sell these players.
Don't you think that's too harsh today?
Because it is exactly what it is. Just a few years ago on Sports Tonight's program that I was on with Toyi Bitoya and a few other people, there's a documentary that we ran of Nigerian footballers who had been abandoned in Ukraine by unscrupulous football agents. These agents promised them that they were taking them to a different country. They ended up in a different country. Their passports were not with them. They could not speak the local language. They couldn't fend for themselves. It took the kindness of locals to ensure that these players were not destitute. And that is how it exists all across the world. Many of the players that you find some players you find in Nigerian football national team now never played league football. Never. Some of them went straight from an academy to somewhere in Europe, and somehow, somewhere, by dint of luck, they found themselves in professional football teams. And it shouldn't be. There should be a way you can track the progress of these players so that they are not sold into slavery. It's a big problem that FIFA and FIFA are dealing with right now.
All right, just hold your thoughts, of course, hold your thoughts as well. I will take a quick break and I will be back. And when we return, of course, we'll be talking about solutions as well as how the team can move forward, as well as the country's football will move forward in a moment. Please stay with us. Thank you for staying with us. We still have with us our panelists in the studio as well as on the Skype, of course, that's the virtual system. Talking about moving forward, talking about solutions now, how do we move forward from where we are?
A lot will depend on if the NFF keeps General as manager, and we have to decide what we want for Nigerian football. If possible, let there be a complete revamp down to the grassroots, and then we have 2 more years to prepare for the next AFCON, which I think that's the next competition we are going to in the senior grade level, and then we can switch everything up and get maybe a few players here and there to add to the squad and just but we need to know what we want next. We really need
if you ask me, I mean, I think what Nigerians want
it's not, I mean, at the end of the day, Nigerians want one thing, the NFF could want another thing, because
I don't think they would want anything other than trophies.
Okay, so how do we want to get trophies? Because Raw has taken us to the 3rd place. So if we're bringing a new manager, that means we're going for the gold. So if you bring a new manager, he doesn't get goal. What was the essence of taking him out? So we have to set this target. And if you say, oh, it's about the style of football, we have to now look for the type of manager that will bring the type of football we want. It is a modern, attacking, progressive football or whatever. So,
well, Tunde, let's get your own submission in terms of making things right, moving forward.
Nigerian football needs major surgery. We are a competition-based country. It is only when competitions arrive that is when we start scattering, looking for a coach, looking for players. We show up, do what we can, then come back. No questions are asked. Until we carry a deep surgery. Let me give you, for instance, Germany failed to get out of the group stage of the European Championships in 2004. They went back, completely tore down their football system, built it from scratch. They won the European Under-21 Championships. They've now won the FIFA World Cup. They won the Confederations Cup. And they were able to send 2 different teams to both the World Cup and completely tore down their footballing structures after the 2002 FIFA World Cup. And now you can see what they're reaping now.
All right. I have to say thank you for joining us on the program today. I mean, you became very much, very passionate speaking about this thing. Yes, hopefully we see these changes in the very nearest future. But then, again, Babatunde Koiki, sports anchor at News Central Television. Thanks for joining us on the program today.
Thank you very much, Victor.
You're welcome. So let me bring up one of the things that he made mention of. He talked about the league, the Nigerian league. Do you think there's been an improvement? And do you think if it was better than it is now, we would have had a better crop of players, joining the national team, and doing us proud on continental as well as global stages?
I think so. I think the league is getting worse progressively year by year, because at the time you knew when the league started, when it ended, and now the calendar is all over the place. So that, I mean, starting from that, even the players don't know when we have league matches and all of that. So that is shambles already. So I think if the league was better, because I remember the last Nations Cup we won in Egypt under Keshi in South Africa, I think. Yeah. We had Obuambuna, who was playing for Sunshine Stars, and he formed one of the most solid partnerships in the center of defense with Omeruo, and he was from Sunshine Stars. So if the league is better organized,
I think any player from the local league in this?
No, we did not. No, we did not. We did not have any single player.
So what do you think? I mean, do you think? I think. So if we're to what will make the local league better? I mean, is it sponsorship? Is it administration? What are we looking at exactly?
I think it's a bit of everything. We need to actually come down to the drawing board to ask ourselves, what do we want to achieve with our league? The marketing has to improve a whole lot. There's this what's it called? There's this idea, this thinking that you don't go away to go and win. It only applies to our local leagues here in Nigeria. So we need to get all of these thinkings and philosophies behind us, and actually come out to the round table to actually tell ourselves, we want to achieve a whole lot with this league. What are the things we need to put in place? The marketing has to be in place. The league has to be properly planned because, like you said, you can start the league and next tomorrow they call off the league, and whoever is on top of the
table,
yeah, you understand, becomes a champion. So all of these things need to be looked into for us to actually forge a way forward.
Okay, so just before we close, I want to ask, which team do you support? Which football club do you support?
Generally, yeah. Arsenal.
Which football club do you
Manchester United.
Manchester United. So if Manchester United are playing today, and say Kano Pillars is coming to Lagos, you know, to play Ikorodu United, you know, where would you be? Would you be watching Manchester United play Arsenal, or go to the stadium to watch Ikorodu United against Kano Pillars or Eimba? Be sincere.
It's a no-brainer. I'll go and watch the Gunners play.
What about you?
Manchester United.
Well, I think you guys are also part of the problem. If you can't support the local league, why?
It's not attractive. It's not attractive enough. I mean, you are not sure of your security for once, and then you're not sure of the football, and then you don't even know the player. He was talking about the marketing. These things are not made, they're not dangling in front of you.
Let's just hope everything comes to, you know, a good
It's
way.
up to the NFF and the MPFL.
What about the LMNC?
Yes, everybody that is in charge of the league. Yeah.
Well, I have to say thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having me,
as well as Damola. Thanks for sharing your thoughts.
Thank you.
That's where we are. We'll take a quick break and we'll be back with the most viewed videos on our YouTube channel in the past week. Please stay with us.
This week's most viewed video begins with a building collapse that claimed the lives of 12 people in Jos, Plateau State. It is followed by the visit of the Vice President, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, to the leader of the Yoruba group, Afenifere, to console with him on the death of his daughter. Third Sport is taken by the explanation given by the Oyo State Governor on why he declared his assets.
In fulfillment of my campaign promise to the people that I will declare my asset publicly and release that document to the public. So they don't need to go through FOI channel. They can have it now. So that's why I came in.
In second is a video from 2018 where members of the Islamic Movement of Nigeria were seen destroying a vehicle belonging to the Nigeria police.
Because you undermine us by even trying to do that. You haven't even listened to us, even if we are going beyond what...
While in first place is the heated debate between Senators Abo and Tinubu during the sitting of a committee set up to investigate allegations of assault by Senator Abo.
Because do you realize that the Senate, I want that mic and let me finish. Do you realize that the Senate, when we constitute this, whatever the law gives, we can also suspend you? Do you realize that? No, sir.
I will not sit and you threaten me with suspicion.
We are not threatening you. I said we are not threatening you.
I will not sit and threaten you suspension.
All due respect.
And there you go. Those were the most viewed videos on our YouTube channel in the past week. However, something they say is better than nothing. The Super Eagles have done their bit. It is left for Nigerians, the government, and the Football Association to continue to support and play their part when the need arises so as to get the best out of the team. And we wrap it up here and remain resolute in our hope that our next outing will be 2 steps better. That is, we will be bringing back the cup home. So please send your comments to our social media addresses to keep this conversation going. Thank you for watching. I'm Victor Matthias.